Thanks, Rich. A couple things just to, I'll jump right into the agenda and kind of work our way through and recap May, and then I'll get up to recap the last couple days, which were also interesting. Um, May rounds, we did 4784 versus a budget of 6032, so about 1,200 rounds shy of budget. And then also down about 1,300 from 2024. So largely due to weather. I don't think that's a question. We had 21 days of rain with measurable rain of 31. So May was just that month that came around. Golf course itself enjoyed the rain, but as far as getting play out, it was definitely a little light. June back on track. Through 6:15, we had 2878 rounds in the book, and since 6:15, we've been, busy every single day. Today's the first lighter day, I think, with the heat, kept some people away. So even the ladies' league this evening, normally around 80, was 37 rounds this evening. So it was certainly light with the heat. And then just down about 750 rounds from 2024. So just kind of putting that in perspective, that's kind of where we are, bouncing back off of the May rain and into June, which has been pretty strong since we got started. Green fees and cart fees, 283,086 versus a budget of 330,986, so about 47,000 behind, 48,000 behind. And year-to-date rounds versus 2024, we're about 2,000 rounds behind. We were behind early, we caught up, and then we dropped back behind a little again. But I would expect with a good summer to catch right back up to that. Range revenue for May, 30,830 with budget 31, so just about right on budget. With the intermittent rain, it's easy to go out and commit to a bucket of balls, and not as easy to commit to a round of golf, 9 holes or 18 or so. So the range definitely is affected a little less there. Merchandise, a little light as well. Fewer rounds, you're going to get less merch running through the shop. So a little behind on that as well. A couple events, the member guests a couple weeks ago sold out. They played through the rain, a couple rain delays that day, pulled everybody in. We had a few people withdraw during the day, which we totally understand, but for the most part, that event was sold out and everybody finished through some pretty rough conditions. And then to catch back up to this weekend, storm that came through on Friday or Thursday into Friday into Saturday, kind of the cells that popped through here did some damage, picked up the range turf strip and flew it 50 yards down the range, which was not easy to pick up and drag back, to say the least. So a day or so dealing with that, and then a loss of power, from 6 p.m. In the evening to roughly noon the following day. So, kind of affected our work day. And then since then, we've had some spotty internet and some spotty issues that we're still working the bugs out from that outage. So a little sensitive with the weather, but, made for some tricky days. And now with the heat, you're going to get some brownouts and different things too as well. So I feel like I'm wearing a cardboard sweatshirt because I think I sweat through it like 3 times today. So I apologize for any kind of look or smell, but that's what we're dealing with right now. The other thing in the golf course update to mention, I don't think it's mentioned anywhere else, is we are talking about flipping out the cart fleet early in August, and that would save us a couple payments this year for next year's new lease. Now the lease is since these carts were pre-COVID, and one of the last fleets out, probably pre-COVID, 2019, 2020. That's going to be a substantial increase, but we will do our best to cut into that with some savings, flipping them out early this year, and doing the best we can with financing and all those things. But that's on the agenda. We're working through that right now, and just wanted to kind of put that out for. Mhm. Yeah, correct. Sure. Yeah, just a little background. It's the same dealer we've been using. Excellent to work with. It's a CoStarz item, so it's easy to kind of get the bid specs properly, and it's a unique item that we're looking for at the golf course. So the quiet gas cart is a unique item, so we're looking to kind of roll out the same type of fleet we got last time. Correct, yeah. Well, I think that would make the most sense with the option to do this, to flip it out roughly in 4.5. We know that as far as cart quality and upkeep, 4 years is probably best, but the 5-year lease will make sense financially. And then you'll have the option to hopefully flip it out at the end, a little bit early. So that proposal does not include screens. Tons of thought given to that, but I don't financially, it's just such a big number. I don't know. That would have.
I actually have the Yamatrack is their proprietary for at my property, and new they're basically $40 to $45 per car per month.
So it's about an extra $5,000 more. Right.
Or well, 10 basically on a seasonal payment plan, right?
Yeah.
Season, you're doubling up the payments in season.
Yeah. So for 5 years. So it's.
I'll just sight unseen. I will just say that Yamaha's the best car that's in the market. The Quiet Deck's a phenomenal gas car. It's a beast. It will run, and I'm sure I know the owner of the local distributorship, and I'm sure he gave a very attractive proposal. He's a good guy.
So I wish you. Yeah, I think it's a case by case basis with each facility. Every facility is a little different as far as the makeup of the players that would take that over. There's so many handheld devices now. There's rangefinders and GPSs on your phone. It's tough to say if that would happen or not if we put them on there. I don't know. It's survey. I think that would be nice. So yeah, there's some conversation there. So we work with Fairway IQ to monitor. We monitor half the fleet with the idea of kind of catching the gist of the idea, and to go into the full fleet and being able to geofence the golf course through that. Now that's not something you would see. You wouldn't get a notice that. Right. You wouldn't get that. Your car would just stop. So there would be some learning curves there, but that is certainly something we have looked into and are looking into for sure. Right. Right. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I certainly understand that, and it is an eyesore, and I feel it too, and hear it as well. I think the main things to consider are the cars we had before this fleet were way worse as far as maintenance and upkeep and battery life and all of that. Hmm? Oh, that's what we didn't. No, no, no. The club car prior to this fleet was worse than this fleet. So I'm just trying to give you history, Dennis. I'm just and feedback on your comments. So all that is I would think at this point, I don't think GPS on the carts is a standard, yet in the business. Golf courses I go to, it's certainly not a standard everywhere I go. So that's usually an uptick or an extra benefit. But as far as the appeal to the carts, yeah, I certainly agree. And that's 50 plus thousand rounds a year for 4.5, 5 years does a lot on these carts, which is why we're proactively flipping out early and trying to, upgrade that as soon as possible. So. But I understand that that is a negative. I feel it and see it as well. So we are certainly working on that. Are there any questions regarding the course update there? All right. Mark isn't going to make it tonight. Looks like so. A couple things ongoing on the maintenance side of the golf course right now. The team has gone out and scraped and cut some areas of the cart path on the front nine. You see the prepped areas. So Derek and the public works guys, the township, are going to give us 2 guys for 2 days to go patch those areas. So that should do a nice job on the front nine. We will then resume a time to get to the back nine and do the same thing. But Cameron and Paul have gone out there and marked out all the trouble spots and cut them out and prep them. So the goal is here shortly as they begin their or get deep into their paving program to give us a couple guys a machine in a couple days to attack those areas on the front nine. The NSN Toro software update was something we just upgraded for Mark and the team. Just upgraded software for the irrigation system to talk a little better to it and react a little better. We basically were outdated with the software, and we let it lapse probably a year or two too long. So we upgraded that software for him earlier this year, about a month and a half ago to get that going. Just wanted the committee to be aware of that. Later on, you'll see on the capital list some of these items, but I just wanted to kind of mention this as well. So we've been talking with the township and the need to put in a dedicated water line into the pond and the utilities there to basically replace what got taken away when the water service and the sewer service was bought out. We don't have a deduct meter, and so we need to replace that and get a dedicated line in. Something like that sounds simple, and it is to do is fairly simple, but it'll probably be in the ballpark of 150,000 to do that. Not totally unexpected, but a little unexpected to have to do that. Well, we never used to pay the sewer charges, right? So last year, I would say it was about 60,000. I think that was the number. That was part of the old agreement with the township. We had a deduct meter that they were able to use separately, so they could deduct their fees out of it. And we know with the current system don't have that. Correct. That will act as correct. Right. I don't think there's an issue at the moment with that particular item. So that just has to be talked through a little more. The pond liner, as I get to the next item there, the pond liner seems to be maybe a bit of an issue that talking with this Board of Supervisors, Mike and I at the last meeting, that conversation more or less got tabled, and we wanted to look at alternative sources or ways to irrigate the property. And we didn't seem to be happy with the layout of where the irrigation pond is, and the way the course was built back in the day, where it doesn't serve the irrigation system very well. So having not been here when the course was designed or built, I can't speak to a lot of things, but Mike and I did reach out to Paul McMahon, and Paul McMahon is an expert and consultant in the area of irrigation systems and putting systems in, working with vendors, surveying the property to kind of give you the best results through the irrigation property. They're too high on the property, right? This all came up at the last supervisors meeting. The supervisor said that. So they wanted us to go back. They wanted us to go back, and I'm trying to walk a line here, but they wanted us to go back and kind of review, instead of just putting out for the pond liner itself and approving that, they wanted to go back and review all alternative aspects of this particular issue. And that's when we contacted Paul McMahon, who is an expert in the field, to give us, come speak to the township. And yeah. Mhm. Right. Mhm. Mike had reached out to the architect on multiple occasions, Mr. Jacobson, but I don't know where I can't say I know where that stands at the moment, but I know Mike reached out to speak to him. So that's where we left that meeting, and that's where we are today to kind of work that through. Obviously, the utilities being where they are and certain things being where they are, it makes sense to me kind of where the ponds are. But we can obviously work through that. And like Alan mentioned, I've known Paul a long time, and he's done work at other golf courses that I've worked at, and he's a very thorough, intelligent guy. Yep, 100%. Hmm. Right. Hmm. Yeah, I think we're in the process of doing that now. Yep. So Mark may have handled that conversation differently, but he's not here. So that's it. So that's kind of where we are on those subjects at the moment. And when we get to the bottom, when we talk about capital, those items are also listed on the capital, and I'll discuss that later. But to stop talking and allow for Jenna Marshall, our food and beverage director, to kind of be here. She was here once before, and get her here at least once a year or so to kind of talk about the food and beverage operation and kind of add a little flair to it better than I could. The bar, for those of you that have been in the building, the bar is mostly completed. There's still a couple outstanding items that we need to kind of wrap up, but for the most part, it's up, it's running, it's working, it's beautiful, it's efficient for the staff, all the things we were hoping for, but I'll let Jenna kind of jump in on some food and beverage.
Uh, yeah.
No, is there a light on?
Yeah, it's very exciting. The new bar is done. So we're just working on reorientating the staff, training. We have a lot of younger servers slash bartenders in training. So, just making sure that all of our drinks are made the same. And it's just an important thing to me to have everybody know what they're doing, be knowledgeable about our wine selection, our beers. We have 10 drafts now, and they just really make a nice centerpiece of the room. I think most of you have been there since the completion, but we kicked off this past weekend, Friday, with music night from 6 to 9. And we also had sort of a small plates menu, more dinner style items, a couple of like dinner platters, and then a bunch of appetizers, and then also some things for the golfers. We did half price drafts to kick off that we finally have drafts back, and just specials on cocktails, and we're going to try to continue doing that sort of Friday night through Sunday nights, offering a couple extra options that are more small plate dinner, seafoods, things from the Woodside Grill Smoker, which is also something that we've been putting to use pretty regularly every weekend. It's been quite popular, I think, especially in driving sales where someone may have only gotten a pack of crackers or a hot dog, and now they're getting a brisket sandwich or barbecue chicken. So not only is that driving sales, it's also just offering the guest more to their experience. And I like that it's a really unique thing that we're able to utilize. Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Clover, right? Yes.
We actually just discussed getting another one because it's just kind of necessary with the system. It makes things so much easier. You can bring it to the table, and so having it available for at the turn, and maybe putting it outside during.
Kind of want to see the new bar in action and kind of see and feel our way through that, but you're absolutely right. And so we did order a Clover to have available for that as well. It's a little guerrilla marketing, right? You have to basically drive through the grill to get to 10T. So I think you're kind of captivating a lot of people right there, and we will have that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has its own.
When the power doesn't go down, it works fabulous.
Yeah.
No, we've talked about that. That's our winter capital, look every year. It is rather, expensive. We have a couple small ones. So for example, the other morning, we had two smaller generators that we fired up the T-sheets, and we were able to get the T-sheet and get people walk into a dark pro shop and check them in through their round. So we use them spottingly wherever we could. And then, with a lot of the seafood, I mean, we did lose some food the other day. The kitchen's down.
Mm-hmm. We did our best to take everything off the line, put it in the walk-in fridge, put things in the freezer, because
no, not for the. Yeah, everything stays in the freezer, but we have generators that we've moved around the building at different times. So Hmm.
No.
Mhm.
Mm.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's something that's been on the agenda for a while and something we've talked about. So yeah. I talked with Generac last winter and we didn't get anywhere with it, but I got all the proposals and things of that nature. But that's something we'll certainly readdress.
Go ahead. Yeah. Yes, everyone who walks in, at first they're kind of like turned around. I hope so. And I think that we're getting more and more people who may not be there for golf. Even for lunches, like some older patrons will come. Um, and when we do have events or music nights, I am telling everybody, oh, come back when we have music. There'll be these dates. We've got the flyers all over the building. And I've really tried to up our social media presence in that way, posting reels and things like that, grab people's attention.
One of the upsides of the construction, Colin, during this time, the construction lasted a little longer than we would have liked. But one of the upsides was being able to talk to all those people that came in to book parties and book events, golfers. They would take a look and say, "Oh, what's going on? What's going to happen? When?" We were able to talk to all of those people and say, "Come back when it's open. Come back when it's open." So I feel like we did a lot of grassroots marketing and word of mouth marketing. And I mean, the comments that I've received have been nothing but positive. From room at the bar to the actual bar top to the 4 TVs to everything that there could be. It's all been positive so far. We have a small sample size, time wise still, but yeah, the little extras that we did with the phone outlets under the bar and the hooks for the ladies' purses and all of the different little knickknacks that we did seem to be making a difference as well. LED lights under the bar, all the little extras that we put into the bar seem to kind of have, made its way to people.
Absolutely. We have an event next Saturday. They want to be inside and they're actually really excited about, she came in to pay her deposit. She was like, "Oh, I'm already thinking about how I want to decorate." And so yeah, I think it's definitely a draw. I feel like people my age, my girlfriends, they would want to go and have a drink there and have some appetizers. And I mean, the deck, it's got that great view. Friday it was full. It was, everyone seemed like they were having a nice time. And we just had, a guitarist and he was singing classic songs and it was just a nice environment, a nice vibe, a nice
Short
Friday.
answer, I think when the weather's good and the environment's good, it's better.
Mhm.
It's more full and we're able to host more people.
Mhm.
So. No, we took that down, the temporary bar, we took that down. Now we still have a mobile bar that we could put up at any point, which we did, but we did take the temporary bar down and now we're
Yeah.
serving out of the
We're
big.
gonna get a couple more high tops to fill in the space. We are still waiting on a back ordered cooler so that like Gatorade, soda, water, fridge will eventually be the other bookend on the left side of the bar. I'm still figuring out the logistics of like where the snacks go, where the condiments go, the coffee bar. But really it looks like it's going to look like a proper dining room, it'll be nice. And for example, when we have events, we won't have to cover that all up with black linens and it'll just be beautiful as is. Yeah.
So Jenna, when you have an event like this, you said a wedding's coming up and
It's an engagement party.
she wants to do it inside
Yes.
and she'll use that bar. Do you share that with the golfers or do you give her the bar and set up an alternate bar?
So luckily this event is a little bit later in the day. It is on a Saturday. However, we would probably close off the dining room around 6:30 PM because our event starts at 7:30. Just because we made that agreement with them and because they wanted to have it later. So it wouldn't be cutting too much into that time. This is an outlier sort of party.
It's a group discussion. Every time these events come up, we
Yep,
certainly
yep.
discuss it as a group. And, Ed and I have given Jenna some no-fly zones on when you cannot close the bar and
We'll still have
Or even if you-
Woodside Grill till later.
Even if you opened up the outside bar, that just,
Absolutely, we could do that, yeah. Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Which we were able to use some older refrigeration units and then the hand wash sink. We've sort of revamped the outside silo bar as well.
Into the outside facility.
Yeah, so it's now it's got a beer cooler. Oh, the silo bar. Yeah. No, I would be happy to.
Yeah, that we use for sure as an alternative. Yeah.
We do, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that we absolutely do. I thought you meant the temporary bar we had set up.
I thought that's what you meant as well.
Right.
For example, last year we had a music night with a band, so I put them in the tent, and so I had a bartender out there, and that worked. It wasn't a big hit band, but so it wasn't as crowded as I'd like to. But we've had both music nights. The first music night was insane. Honestly, it was every table inside, every table on the porch, and then we had a separate group of like 30 or 40. It was like a pre-wedding thing where the guys golfed and then the ladies met them for drinks, but it was packed and we were still working from the temporary bar. So it was a long night, but it was great, to see that lively of an atmosphere in there and everyone was having a great time. The food was coming out and I think we've done a good job of, training the kitchen and getting into a groove. And we have a whole sort of kitchen Bible I made with pictures of how things should go out, the ingredients list and the prep list. And so just all of those things to make our lives easier when training and just making sure that everyone's on the same page. Consistency, it's so
I
important.
was there Friday night. I thought it was fantastic.
Oh, good.
So if you're planning on doing more of those, whatever you did to promote that one, it seemed to be really successful. 'Cause
Good,
it was
yeah.
pretty well attended from what I could see. And I was only there early.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it lasted, but I was there from 5:30 till about 7 or so.
Yeah, I
I
would
thought the
say.
music guy was great.
Yeah, he was. I got a lot of compliments about him. He just happened to be riding his bike one day and he like came in for water and we ended up talking and he's like, "Oh, I play music." And so he brought a bunch of people and it was a great time. But yeah, I've just been doing like stories on Instagram, on Facebook. We've been doing them in the weekly newsletters. We have a flyer. I did bring it. We've got this posted everywhere. I've got one sort of across the street over here. And then the fields off River Road. And then we have a couple of these out front.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Good
we're
job.
just pushing word of mouth, so that's obviously the best way, friends telling friends like, "Oh, come meet me here for this music night." So as long as we just keep doing that and when the people come, we give them good service and quality food and delicious drinks and have them come back. And I just feel like that's the way you build it. So that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, Jen and the team have been working really hard getting us off the ground, and it's been great to see. Like I said, we're still kind of new with the new setup, so just beer lines getting a little loose. We just just going through those early bugs that you just got to tighten up and get right. And Jen and the team's been doing great, which leads me real quick into our new banquet sales lead, Elisa, who was with us for a couple of years. Elisa Melanoff left to pursue running her daughter's business. Her daughter is a TikTok star who bakes cookies out in Los Angeles, and Elisa left to kind of help her run that business. So it was really kind of a cool story about all that. But what we did take was our banquet lead and lead bartender, Melissa Dooley, and she has kind of jumped into the role with both feet, and she is now selling our banquets. And we've taken her off the floor a little bit as far as bartending shifts and things like that. She's still gonna do a little bit, but she's adding a little energy, to say the least, into into that role. So there has been a switch made a few weeks ago, and wanted you guys to be aware of that.
Yeah, Melissa and I think we have a great working relationship. We've become, very close just as she was sort of like a shift closer, so I relied on her in that way. But yeah, she's given up a couple of her bartending shifts. But it's good. She's really on top of it. She's very detailed, and she's got the perfect personality, and she's been doing sales. She had her own clothing business doing sales herself. And so I just think she's just a really good fit. We've already, we've put together like a brownie tray. We brought it to Washington's Crossing Cemetery. We dropped off some pamphlets and cards. And so we're just kind of like maintain like a running list of places we'd like to visit, show face, introduce ourselves, and, promote our event space really. So
A lot of local sidewalk marketing, we call it, and I think that's maybe something we've been missing for a little while. So we're back on top of that and doing that. So good stuff there for sure.
but more personal.
Any other questions about the bar, the restaurant, or anything there?
No, you got a good staff. You got a really good staff there.
Thank you.
They do make you feel like you're at home.
Good. Yeah, no, I mean, everyone from like, the bartenders to the bussers, everyone is just like a really good, young adult. And I'm just thankful to have them really, because it could be worse. No, we've got, Matt, yeah, we've got mats down, and it's just like really beautiful. It's really clean, and we're gonna keep it clean. And I've always wanted a brand new bar.
It's been great, and a lot of really nice local kids that have
Mhm.
started working at Makefield, which we're happy about. And so they have a little pride before they even get there that, this is a place they go play golf with their dad or their mom, and they come in and really, put a little extra elbow grease into their job. So it's been thank you for saying that, and I'll certainly pass that along to the
Yeah.
team.
Thank you.
Um,
Of course.
Marketing and advertising, we've more or less hit on throughout this so far, but I think the main thing we've done is kind of reached out to the tee sheets the day before the tee sheet, and whether that's a lunch special or it's a merchandise special or it's a range special or something, we're reaching out to a lot of people on the tee sheet that way a little more often than we used to. Still learning some of the capabilities of the POS that can do certain things that we weren't doing before. So that's been a priority of ours to get there in a better way. A social media intern. I won't call her a marketing intern as much as a social media intern, and she's kind of just graduated from Bloomsburg, and she's been an employee at Makefield in the past, and she has kind of brought us up to speed with social media. So a lot of our reels and our posts have been, really pretty sharp. So that has been working out well as well.
Who is that, Kevin? What's her name?
Sophia. She does the beverage cart a little bit as well, and she kind of works. Her name is Sophia.
No, of course.
I don't give out last names anyway, usually, but Sophia, she's been there a couple of years. You would certainly know who she was if you walked through and saw her, but Rudy. But she has a marketing degree from Bloomsburg, and she is doing her externship. I guess you call it externship. She'll need this to graduate. So she'll be with us through the summer with this. So she's been doing a great job and really doing a good job and tackling each part of, hopping on a tractor and watching aeration happen, taking videos so she could post that, coming in the golf shop, folding up some shirts so she could video that. And then, certainly with Jen and the drinks and the food plates that go out and stuff like that. So really doing a nice job there. So helping us in that regard quite a bit.
She put together a nice reel of music night, which we were going to post this weekend, promoting next weekend. And the events calendar is a little light in July. So we are thinking about adding a few more music nights, because they've just been going so well. So promote that through her. She's real quick with it, whereas I need to sit down and figure it out a little bit more. It's great to have her.
I need to put my glasses on to even see it. So she is much quicker than that. And just the next few days, just getting through the temps, the next few days will be, obviously today we were light and, We had junior camp start today, 5-day junior camp start today. So you just want to keep an extra eye on the kids, make sure everybody's okay. All the seniors playing early, making sure they're okay. So just today I was on the golf course quite a bit and just driving around checking on people and, that kind of thing. So obviously with the heat the next few days, we'll be doing a lot of that and making sure we're in good shape there. And then finally, with some capital updates, you see the sheet I attached as well. I think both Mega, the new township finance director, and a couple of board of supervisors were looking for, some more thorough annual capital improvement programs. A lot of these items are not new. They've been on our tongues for a couple of years here now, but we just kind of want to put them on paper, share it with the golf committee so the golf committee can have and really kind of help dial it down to what is most important priority wise and where we're headed. And I can just speak on a couple of things quickly here. The dedicated service line we just spoke about earlier. Obviously that's a must to go into the deduct to kind of get us back to where we used to be as far as paying for sewer. New well, we abandoned a well some years back prior to COVID, and we were thinking about retapping that, which you see the fees here to do that and kind of add that. It won't make a world of difference, but it'll help, as far as irrigation goes. And talking to Mark today a little bit, just on a side note, as of today, right now, we have plenty of water. Like in the pond, we have had plenty of rain. We got rain yesterday, so we're not in any worries of water in the current future. If it stayed like this for 3 months like it did last year, then sure, we're going to have some issues. But right now, we're doing fine. And I think the golf course is in good shape and reacted to all the water we've had in May. So the remote buildings, just to kind of touch on that a little bit, I think that's something maybe you shared, Rich, or
So it's similar to the proposal for the carts. I got a proposal from Mike about remote buildings. These are modular buildings that you rent out, right? So we use one if we were to do this for bridal suite. And then the other one, there's apparently I don't know what the right way to say this, but there are companies out there, small companies that look for offices, look for places to go. So these are rental modular remote buildings, and they go in and they rent them, and the revenue goes back to the golf course. Some of it goes to the people that own the building, but it looks like it's a cash positive thing. I don't know where they go. I'm guessing somewhere near the manor house.
yeah. So essentially, it's a company out of Texas that has done this at some, some higher end private facilities in Texas. And what they've done is rent out, they're 10 by 10 or 10 by 20. They're self-leveling. They have heat and air, so you got to be local to power so that you can hook to it. But what they've done is rent it out to conference rooms for companies to come in and just have a conference room with a golf skate background, barbers, masseuse, think of high-end private clubs. So that's kind of the stuff they rented it out for. And then we had it up on the website for a day, and we had 2 phone calls from people that came and said, hey, our company will be in this area, in the greater Philadelphia area for a week, and we need somewhere to hang our hat for the week. We'd like to rent an office for the week. It's that simple. And we have done no marketing, and so they're doing it on their end. There's no cost to us, and there is only positive rental fees that we would incur after that. For us, the biggest part of that, the reason that Mike and I even entertained this was that it could be a bridal suite. So a 10 by 20 right on the pad next to the tent could be a bridal suite. So if there's a reason why we don't get more weddings, if there's a reason why we don't get those bigger parties, it's because we don't have somewhere for the bride to go earlier in the day. So this would act as a bridal suite. It would be, air conditioned, and it would be, private, and it would be, right in a perfect place for the tent. So that's kind of what got our minds going on this. And we would have brought this to you in May, but we had no meeting in May. So that was kind of when it came up and when we discussed it. So, so that is just something that it was unique and different. And, so we entertained it and, kind of, already spoke with the supervisors about it at the meeting, and then just wanted to kind of circle back.
So I have another email that I'll share with the committee on that one as well.
Oh,
What are we doing? What's going on with that house on 18? Is that usable in any way?
the Manor House,
Is the stone house? I can answer that. No.
Rich might know more than I,
So the manor house has been discussed at golf committee meetings since basically the beginning of time.
Yeah.
And at one point, the Philadelphia section of the PGA was interested in renting the Manor House. We couldn't really make any traction with the township on that. It would, you know, to bring it up to spec, because I believe there's asbestos in the building and the cleanup of the building was probably, if I remember correctly, at the time, it might have been upwards of $500,000.
Yeah.
It was a big number. I think, I don't remember if they were willing to do it, looking for a, you know, $1 a year kind of lease, one of those kinds of things. Just didn't go anywhere for any number of reasons. Frank Draper would remember more than me about it. But the entire building itself is not historic. I think there's one wall of the building that is historic. If we were going to do something, which most residents would probably find unfavorable with the building, it should have been done when we built the course. I think it's too late now. So the question is it usable? There's been a lot of discussion, you know, what to do with it. It's got to be brought up to spec though, from a safety standpoint.
Does it have power?
Yes.
Yeah, there's power to it. Yep.
So these remote buildings could maybe even be located around there for power?
Mhm.
That,
Yep.
again, in that parking lot, you know.
Well, that's another question. Do you have to reconsider parking if you bring in some remote buildings like?
Well, parking is an ongoing, right? It's an ongoing issue that it's, you know, we've outkicked our coverage with how many spots we have versus a busy time of day when you have an event and you have a full golf course. Yeah, but that would have to be part of it. But I don't think these remote buildings would bring in a lot of parking issues. You know, it would just probably be a small number of people, but it's a unique thing. And you know, we've kicked around the Manor House, you know, in conversation many times. I don't know that we've ever really gotten anywhere productive there, but
Yeah, there's a little bit of parking too, but it's kind of in range of the tee.
yeah.
Parking, yes.
Risky.
A little low left and you could be in trouble down
Not a
there.
miles,
So.
though.
The remote buildings you just bring in for event.
No, they would stay. Yeah. It would be a contract. It would be whether it would be a year, whether it would be a contracted amount of time.
And who markets it? Do they market it or would you have to market it?
They do. They do all the work. We don't do anything. Now we could rent it ourselves, and basically all we would do, you know, if we needed a conference room or an office, you know, we have 8 people that share two rooms at Makefield for offices. It's, you know, you got wires on top of each other, you got computers sitting on top of each other. But if we were to use one there as an office or a conference room or something there, that would just deduct from the revenue. We wouldn't, you know, it would just deduct from the revenue because we would be taking that ourselves. Let's say there were 5 buildings, you know, and we used one, that would just deduct portion time allotted time to us away from the revenue. But, you know, again, the bridal suite was the main attraction to that. That was being able to have that would be, you know, kind of worth it for us.
So you just had that at home, it's someone for that.
Mhm.
People that like
Sure.
do that up and
We would get the revenue. They get their, whatever their fee is, but we would, they're going to pay us to rent on our property. So we would down the line receive the revenue. Yes.
And then there's profit sharing.
Mhm.
When I said that.
So it's a unique model.
they would have the right to bring anybody in to rent that space.
We would dedicate the bridal suite. We would have first order.
We have office space, say, for this building, they would just be able to say, oh, we're renting it for 2 weeks, we have 50 people coming every day.
Well, they wouldn't be allowed.
Spaces in the pocket.
Well, the occupancy wouldn't allow for 50 people. I think that's part, you know, 10 by 10s and 10 by 20s. It would be minimal, but yes, they would be able to rent it for certain lengths of time. Sure. So.
So it's worth the discussion.
Mhm. You know, we've been asked, I think on many occasions, to think outside the box. And I think this is a perfect example. Just it's an outside the box kind of thought. And, you know, to see positives, and I can see a couple negatives, but certainly see positives to it. So going back down the list here, that Remo was important. I wanted to get that out. Pond liner, obviously, the proposals that came in were much more than we had anticipated. And I think could be reworked when you kind of really piece it apart and kind of go back to it a little bit. And maybe with, Paul McMahon's help too, as well, to kind of put another set of eyes on that as well. But, that's, important. Range tee cover we left on there. The range field is ongoing. That will need to be addressed at some point or not, but it certainly needs improvement. We had somebody come in to give us an estimate or a proposal on the deck expansion. And without the expansion, just a cover and basically a 3-season cover and roof over the deck, with some heat and some air and some different, ideas. That was also, way more expensive than I think we anticipated. So, we're gonna go through that process and get some other companies in here to take a look. But this was a golf course specific company that had done it in multiple places nearby. So that's just on there as, as the future keeps coming. Bunker project ongoing. 18th tee box, I believe this committee has spoken about before, more as a conversation, not as any dedicated capital expense at the moment, but just thinking about flipping 18 and 16 to a par 4 up the hill and a par 5 down the hill, and changing that layout a little bit by adding a tee box back on 18 and changing that back 9 a little bit. Could be interesting, could be fun. Something the golfers might be into. New car path, all in all, that's, obviously we're doing the patchwork now, but that's just a number that we've had. And then, down the line, probably 5 years away for an irrigation system, we think is probably, we're with the original stuff in the ground from day one, and that'll be 25 years there. So that's about time to start working on that. And then the little blurb on the bottom is just, thoughts. Just out for the, I'm sure you've all spoken about that in the past, but just different ideas to kind of readdress some of those issues. Move the carts out back behind Mark's building, and maybe put the pro shop downstairs. Create a pro shop and offices down in the basement, and turn the pro shop into a simulator room, and just spitballing, kind of stuff. So just wanted you guys all to take a look at that and be able to kind of throw feedback back with that. And on that note, that's about all I have when it comes to capital. So I just wanted to make sure you got that in your hands.
You notice the dates on the capital, it's not all 2025ers.
Okay.
Yep.
So
I think the biggest one we should gonna have to do out of the plan is that water
mhm.
in the short term.
Yeah.
Any questions? Public? Any questions from the public? Many of you guys can stick around for a few of you are here for a minute after we're done. Any questions from your side? Thanks. Next meeting is, I have an email, but I don't remember. We do have a July meeting and an August meeting. Depending on the dates. Last Monday. Well, this is not the last Monday of June, so I don't know if it's the last Monday or the third Monday, fourth Monday. Yeah. I can send a reminder.
One note, Rich, when you do send out the reminders, I'm not on that email,
On the meeting.
on the group one.
Were you on
I
the-
think-
were you on the
I
one?
think there was a draft that I was on one time, but I think we go back to a regular time. So if you just can add me to that,
Not personally.
it's okay.
All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second. All in favor? Bye.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.